Well, knowing that you're very business-minded, do you think back to when you were 18 and you had offers from those companies, and knowing that you could have made a very lucrative career? I mean, electricians make great money.
Right.
And it would have been the safe route in the terms of maybe not on the job safety, but
Sure.
in terms of like a steady paycheck, insurance, you can sleep at night in terms of the bills.
Right.
Do you think back to that day?
Thanks. That's a great question. You know, I don't. No, I don't, because I knew one thing. I wanted to be a professional athlete when I was a kid, and I wanted to be a movie star. Like, those were the only things that I knew, you know? And, you know, apples and oranges, right? But like, you know, I love doing electrical work, but my parents wanted me to go to the vocational school so that I had some sort of background after high school. And it wasn't just like, okay, you know, because not a lot of people in our family went to college. Like, my dad went, and later after having a family and stuff, one of my uncles went back to school and ended up getting his degree. One of my aunts, I believe, too. But, you know, not a lot of them had been, you know, I think I might have been the first person to graduate college from my immediate family, you know, including like uncles and aunts and cousins. I believe so. So, you know, for them, you know, we were coming from more of a working class family, like, you know, so having a skill set after high school was huge, you know what I mean? If you weren't going to college. And, so that was sort of more their decision. Like, you know, they wanted me to go to vocational school. I remember being pissed, and I was like, man, all my friends, you know, I didn't get to go to the same high school. And then, you know, you're there for a week and you meet new people, and then, you know, it's fine, you know, you get on with it. But, so coming out of that, you know, I knew I was valuable as an electrician, but I still knew that's not what I wanted to do. And I was going to join the Air Force, because for me, I was like, I loved like the idea of being like a Navy SEAL, or the equivalent of that to, you know, the Air Force. I think there's this called the Army's the Ranger. I forget what the Air Force's branch of like their specialized unit is, but, and I was like, I really want to do that. Like, I really want to do that, you know? And then I was looking at their sports program. I was like, well, I could play for the Air Force, or I could play for the Navy, you know, basketball or baseball, whatever it was. So, you know, it was just continuing a process of how can I, you know, get towards my idea of being like you know, an athlete, you know? And then they were the ones, my parents were the ones that didn't want me to join the Air Force. And I had several uncles who had been in different parts of the military, and my uncle was in the Air Force for about 21 years or 25 years at that point. And that was before before September 11th, or 9/11, I should say. And he was like, yeah, no, it's probably not the best time to join the Air Force, you know? And so my parents had this sort of, you know, come to Jesus sit-down meeting with me, and we were just like, you know, they didn't want me to go, and they were the ones that encouraged. They were like, well, what about going to community college and trying to take some acting classes? You wanted to be an actor. And I was like, okay, you know, and that was kind of how it happened, you know? They sparked the idea and sort of pushed me in a direction when we did, and, you know, here we are. But, yeah, I mean, I've always been business-minded in that way, but I'm business-minded, but again, like, the passion of me really wanting to do something that makes me happy is always what has fueled me since I was a kid. So that always came first. So, you know, $100,000 at 18 years old, or whatever I could have been, you know, making a year, like, you know, now I think about it, I'm like, wow, that's a lot of money, right? But like, maybe as an 18-year-old, I didn't realize how much money, you know, I could have been making. But no, I think I would have always followed where my heart was, and it wasn't money. It's, and that should still be clear, because obviously I'm not making a lot of it now. Like, you know, I mean, I'm not a rich actor or anything. So, you know, it's still it's still a you know, a hustle for sure. So, you know, I definitely, you know, obviously acting and entertainment can be lucrative, but, you know, it's a long process to get to that point. So I probably could still be making a lot more doing other things, that's for sure, if that's where my heart was.